The Israeli military has said that it has killed several Hezbollah fighters in southern Lebanon and that an Israeli soldier was injured there despite a ceasefire. Now, in a statement, the military said that it identified Hezbollah fighters inside what Israel describes as a security zone and carried out strikes to, quote-unquote, remove the threat. The statement added that the Israeli forces will continue to operate to remove any threat to its soldiers, and it will not allow the Hezbollah to harm Israeli civilians. This comes at a time when United Nations has expressed concerns over Israeli actions. In fact, the Office of UN Special Coordinator for Lebanon, it said that the scale of the detonations and demolitions taking place is deeply concerning, with a devastating impact on civilian infrastructure, cultural heritage, and the collective memory of communities. This after the Israeli military carried out large detonations near a UNESCO-listed castle in Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz said that the army destroyed terror tunnels in the Beaufort area using approximately 700 tons of explosives. Beaufort Castle was added last week to UNESCO's list of World Heritage in danger. A US-sponsored framework agreement signed by Lebanon and Israel in late June. It aims to end hostilities, with Lebanon's army to disarm Hezbollah and the Israeli military to withdraw from pilot zones inside Lebanon, where Lebanese forces will subsequently deploy. Hezbollah has repeatedly rejected the deal and it refuses to disarm, while there is no timetable for Israel's full withdrawal. A top American military commander stationed in Europe has cautioned the Pentagon, and he says that Washington may soon confront hard decisions on missile defenses resources. And this as the ongoing war with Iran continues to place heavy pressure on American military stockpiles. Now, according to the Washington Post, Chief of U.S. European Command General Alexis Grigevich, he informed Pentagon officials that U.S. lacks adequate naval assets to continue intercepting Iranian ballistic missile strikes on Israel. He reportedly told Pentagon that without the deployment of another U.S. Navy destroyer to the region, the European command would eventually be forced to decide between protecting American interests and sustaining missile defense operations for Israel against Iranian attacks. While concerns about shrinking missile stocks, they have arisen before. New York Times reported earlier this month that one of the principal reasons that Trump chose to halt strikes on Iran, it was the risk of sharply depleting U.S. air defense supplies, which are positioned across West Asia. Also, an analysis by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, it estimated that the U.S. military has expended large shares of its advanced missile inventory over the months and weeks of fighting. The analysis estimates that the United States has used about 45% of its precision strike missile inventory, at least half of its THAAD interceptor missiles, around 50% of its Patriot interceptor missiles, roughly 30% of its Tomahawk cruise missile stockpile, more than 20% of its joint air-to-surface standoff missiles, and approximately 20% of its SM-3 and SM-6 interceptor missiles. However, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has often and openly rejected reports of munition shortages while testifying before the House Appropriations Defense Subcommittee last month. He claimed that reports of shortages were overstated.